Hey guys, Half Click up here. Welcome back to my R1 mods and maintenance series. In today's video, we're going to be performing an oil change on our 2010 Yamaha R1. Let's go. Alright, everything you're going to need for this simple job, you're going to need some oil, Motul, all the things, 7104T in 10W40. You're going to need a new crush washer. There's your part number. I'll put it down in the description. You're going to need a socket wrench, 17mm socket for the drain plug. You're going to need a 4mm hex head for your body fairing bolts. You're going to need an oil filter. I choose HiFlo. It's got the neat little nut on the end. Part number here. I'll put it down in the description. And you're going to need a torque wrench for your drain plug torque spec. Alright, two things are imperative here. First, you need to make sure that your bike is on a level surface. That is to say, put it on a rear stand. Secondly, the bike needs to be up to temperature. So I've already idled this machine up to temperature. Warm oil is thinner and flows better than cold oil. We begin with the removal of 8 body bolts. Again, they are a 4mm. Yamaha makes it easy on the R1 with quarter turn bolts. Turn your wheel to the left to gain better access to the front facing bolts. Now, coming from the front of the bike, you have 3 pop rivets. Simply push the button in the middle and pry them out with your fingernail. You'll want to reset these prior to reinserting them later. The way you do that is push the stem back out. As you remove this fairing, be cognizant of your blinker harness. Simply pull the tab with your fingernail and yank that guy out of there. With the belly pan, slide it forward and it comes right out. Now we're ready to drain our old oil. Your 17mm plug is located here, pointed straight down. Careful, it's going to be hot. And don't forget to discard your old crush washer. Now you want to come to the right side of the bike and go ahead and remove that fairing as well, because you'll discover that the design of the header collectors will only allow you to remove the oil filter from the right side of the motorcycle. It sucks, but it's necessary. From the front of the bike looking through the header, you see the oil filter there. Again, I use HiFlo Filtro oil filters, so they have a little nut, 17mm, if you use this same type of oil filter. I also employ an extension to reach down in through the header. Just crack it open enough to where it slowly starts to drip out. Kind of let the oil work its own way out. It minimizes the crazy mess. About like that. And there's actually no avoiding getting a mess on your header, really. So this minimizes that mess, and you just use some rags to wipe it down when it's done draining. From the right side of the motorcycle, reach your hand in there, finish spinning it off, and you'll see how it only wants to come out from this side. Now once you've cleaned up your collectors as best you can, you also want to come in and clean the mating surface for the oil filter's gasket. just give it a wipe all the way around with a rag. That just prevents the possibility of any rogue leaks later down the road. Now, aside from the design advantages of HiFlo Filtro's integrated torquing nut there, they also come with pre-oiled gaskets. So you simply remove this cover and it's pre-oiled, ready to install. It's awesome. Alright, so we're coming back in through the collectors on the right hand side of the motorcycle, bringing in kind of up high, and it'll clear everything. Now take your time here, don't cross thread it. Just turn it with your fingers. And she's there. Spin it on there. It should be nice and easy. If you feel any resistance, then you are cross threading. Stop immediately and back it out. Try again. So we get it in there hand tight. Come back in with our 17mm and extension. Give it a couple of spins. It doesn't need to be super tight. That ought to do it. So with our filter installed, now it's time to put our new crush washer onto the plug. Now you'll notice with the Yamaha crush washer, there's a flat side and there's a beveled side. The beveled side goes towards the pan, the flat side goes towards the plug, like so. Plug back in using the same caution not to cross thread. The torque spec is 31 foot-pounds. Alright, so now we're ready to pour in our new oil. Now the oil capacity on the R1 is around 3.8 liters, which works out to right at 4 quarts. But you have a sight glass window for reference, and there's a tick mark on that sight glass, which is going to be our target for capacity. So it may be right at 4 quarts or 4 liters, maybe a little bit less. But again, the point is the sight window. Now on this sight window, there is a little bitty tick mark that might be hard to make out on camera, but it's right here where my fingernail is. I think you guys can see that. That is the level in this window that we're shooting for. Now I usually like to pause the pouring process to let the level stabilize. You can see it there in the sight glass. We're about halfway there. Go slow to achieve our target. Take a look at our level. There's our tick mark. We are there. And now we can reinstall our fill cap. Give her a good snug. And we used practically all of the Motul. Very little left. So I always just use these jugs to dump the oil into because we're not going to be using the remainder that's in there. Now, it is common practice to start the motorcycle, let the sump suck into the engine, and then shut it down and let it settle for 5 to 10 minutes and recheck the level. In my experience with this motorcycle, the difference between now and after shutdown and waiting 5 to 10 minutes is absolutely negligible. The level is always still within spec. I know how much I dumped in there, right? So I know the bike's good. So that's it. Our oil change is complete. However, it is common practice and highly advisable that you start the machine just to verify that you don't have any unexpected leaks. Now, the rest of this process involves reinstalling the body fairings. You just do that in reverse order in which you remove them. Other than that, fairly simple process, If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them. But as always, this has been me, and that's been you. Sap click up. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Goodbye.